Hey everyone, welcome to a new week of the Garden Harvest videos. I'm so excited because I'm starting to get new things from the garden, and this is really getting to be my favorite time of year. The only problem is now I'm starting to accumulate so many things. It's time to start doing some canning. Not that I mind that, it's just that's a lot of work. It's work that I do really love, but it's work nonetheless. So you may see a little creepy crawly ant or something like that rolling around here because I have not washed this yet. Usually I wash my veggies before I do my video, but I didn't today. The sink's still a mess, still has some dirty dishes in it, and I just didn't feel like cleaning it out yet. But I wanted to go ahead and get this filmed because I'm getting ready to go run a couple of errands and wanted this done. So let me start with my cherry tomatoes. Getting some more, and as you see, I am still getting green ones. These all, except for one, were lying on the ground, so I just went ahead and picked them up. One of them I reached in and tried to pick one that looked like this and came back with one that looked like this. So that happens. Got three more little adorable baby eggplant. Tonight I'm going to make pasta primavera because it's Monday and I've started doing meatless Monday, especially with all of these wonderful veggies. So I'm going to do that. I'm thinking I might grill some of the vegetables first and then make the sauce with the vegetables that you don't grill. But the eggplant was delicious grilled, so I may do that. Also, I got 4 more green beans. And yes, I know that it's a pitiful little harvest, but I only have like 6 or 8 plants right now that are even blooming because we put those in early, and then we have a bunch more coming on that are still a few weeks away from producing anything. But I have 6 or 8 green beans in the fridge that I picked over the last few days. So I thought that since I'm doing pasta primavera tonight, this is never going to be enough to can, so I'm going to cut these up or break them. I'm not going to cut them, that's silly. But I'm going to break these up and saute them and put them in the pasta primavera, and they will be delicious. I got another zucchini. I did not pick that big monster one yet. It is huge, but I will probably do that in the next couple of days. I got 2 more Lemon Boy tomatoes and 2 more Bradleys. That has a bad spot on it. I'll have to cut off. I'm still undecided what I'm going to do about the Lemon Boys, but I will figure something out. I don't know if I'm going to can those separately or mix them in with the red tomatoes. I'll probably make some salsa, and I usually do mix in the yellow tomatoes with the salsa, or with the red tomatoes to make my salsa. It just makes it really pretty. One of my gladiolas was lying on the ground, so I went ahead and picked it up, and that's kind of broken there. I have to figure out how to do that. But I have a vase in the house that I pick up flowers and put them in, and so I thought, instead of throwing this out, it still has a few pretty little things on it, so I thought I would go ahead and bring it in and stick it in my vase until it's time to compost it. I like to have the flowers. I usually raise a bunch of zinnias, but we just didn't do that this year, and those are some of my favorites. I love those, and they're just so prolific, and they make everything really happy. I got some more cukes. I got this one is a regular size straight 8 is what the the variety is. I did look that up. This was a straight 8, but it was kind of not growing anymore. It looked a little weird, and it was down near the ground, and so I went ahead and picked it because I was trying to get some more to do some pickles today. So I've got plenty of these on the vine, and my pickling cucumbers are slowly but surely coming on, but they're just not really doing exactly what I want them to do, but they'll be fine. They're still coming. And then I went ahead and I picked 2 of the dill heads because I am going to do some dill pickles today. I'm going to do a small batch, but as you can see, the dill seeds have not popped out on this. It still smells wonderful, and I may go get some of the dill weed that's underneath there, but I've got tons more out there, but none of them had the seeds popping out yet, and I do need to go ahead and make some pickles. So I think this will be fine, especially if I get some more of the dill weed and put in with this, even though the seeds have a lot of flavor. But I had to go ahead and get it. I've got some cucumbers that are not going to last too many more days in the fridge, and I've been trying to get enough to do a batch of pickles, and I've been trying to hold off on making them because I really wanted the dill to be a little bit better. But I think it's going to be fine, especially with just a couple of jars. I might have enough to do like 3 pint jars, but I don't want to lose any of my cucumbers. My husband and I worked way too hard this year on the garden to let any of this stuff go to waste. Not sure what this one will be like for pickling. I may just use it for salads. We did put some nitrogen down in the on the soil a couple of days ago before it rained, so hopefully we won't have any more hot air balloon cucumbers. So we shall see. So that's my harvest for this Monday. And I'm going to record the video of, or record me doing the pasta primavera tonight, so you can see that and see how it turns out. I'm really excited about that. I think it's going to be delicious. Well, I will catch you tomorrow because there's going to be plenty more to pick. Hey folks, I'm back with Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday's harvest. Today is Thursday, July 9th, and I combined every day, or the last 3 days, in this one video because I'm not really getting a whole lot of anything new except for the dried beans, and I didn't want to bore you to tears by showing you, oh, here are my tomatoes, here are my eggplant, here are my cucumbers, and then the very next day, here are my tomatoes, here are my eggplant, here are my cucumbers. So hopefully this will be a little bit better. I do have a couple of interesting things to show you, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes, but here is my cherry tomato harvest for the last 3 days, and it's a good thing because we were starting to run low on cherry tomatoes because everybody keeps popping them in their mouths. They're so good, and popping them on salads and whatever else. So I'm getting quite a few more, and I do have some that are less ripe than others, and I just put them all in the bowl, and we pick out the ripest ones and munch on them. I'm going to try to make some ketchup later on in the summer, but I do want some more tomatoes to come in before I do that. I got one more beet. This was from the back. I haven't been back outside or behind the house for about a week since we pulled up the peas, and I just kind of wanted to see what was going on back there. I've got a couple of tomatoes. I did get one tomato off one of those plants back there, and the beets that are out there are getting nice size. This one was a good size one, so I just went ahead and pulled that. Probably in the next week or so, we'll go ahead and pull all of the beets because they're not really growing anymore, and go ahead and free those squares up for something else, maybe some more beans. Speaking of beans, I have a variety of dried beans here. I started pulling the ones that were drying out on the vine. There are still some that I can't get to because the cucumbers are blocking them, but I'm sure they'll be fine to sit there. I split some of them open so I could see what they were. Here are some pinto beans. There's another pinto, and you can hear how dry this pot is. You hear it crunching. Some more pintos. Let's see what this one is. I think this is going to be a white bean. Yes, this is a Great Northern bean. And this is also Great Northern. There we go. This one's a little softer than the other ones. Then let's see if I can find some other varieties. I think this is a kidney bean. Let's see. And this is kind of soft. Yeah, this is a red kidney bean. There we go. So I will let all of these dry. I'm fighting with it. I will win. I'm smarter than this pea pod, or bean pod. Maybe. I just called it a pea. But you can see how nice, the nice size they are compared to this Great Northern bean. So I'm really happy with the red kidney beans, and these are beans that I pulled out of my pantry, these and the Great Northern beans, and just stuck them in some dirt and planted them. The others, the pinto beans and the black beans, are some that I bought seeds for. That's another pinto bean. I thought that was a black bean. I know I have some black beans here somewhere. Yep, there's the black beans. Here's some black beans. These are a little small, but they're supposed to be. But, oops, I dropped it. There it is. There we go. See that? Okay, so those are my dried beans that I've gotten so far. Here's some more kidney beans. And I think what I'm just going to do is pull them as they dry out, and just kind of keep them together and let them dry completely, and then work on them as I get time. If I'm watching something on TV, I'll grab a handful. That's what I like about dried beans. You don't really have to do anything with them urgently. You just have to let them dry. So that's going to be awesome. So I'll pull these toward the end of the season. We'll probably just pull the whole plants and pull the pods off at our leisure. And I'm thinking about planting some more, especially of the pinto and the black beans, because we seem to use more of those than anything else. And I planted those in containers, so I think if I plant some more of them, I will plant them out in the garden, because the white beans and the red beans are doing really well out in the garden. Okay, moving on. I have a few little green beans. As I said the other day, the green beans that I have maturing right now are just a few plants, so I'm just getting a few of these a day. In fact, I got all of these this morning, and later on in the season I'll have lots more because we have green bean plants everywhere. We also planted some limas, so they'll be coming in later too. Some more of my little mini eggplant that I'm falling in love with. This one's got some speckles on it. I don't know why. But I'm just really falling in love with this. I made pasta primavera for dinner Monday night. even though my boys have been really upset with me for having Meatless Monday. But I put some of the eggplant in the pasta and it was really good. And then here are some more of my big tomatoes. Well, some big tomatoes, some medium-sized tomatoes. And this one's really nice. I like that one. I got some more cucumbers. Some pickling cucumbers and some straight eights. Some of the smaller ones, like this one that kind of got a little wonky here, I'll probably use this one to pickle anyway. And then some of the pickling cucumbers. I did make pickles a couple of nights ago, and I did have more cucumbers that I did not wait to show because I was making pickles. I put them in the jars. What I did is I have my grandmother's recipe for her dill pickles, and I just put the cucumbers in pint jars, and I made up a big batch of the brine. And these are not pickles that you soak or brine for a very long period of time. You just pack them in the jars, and they actually take on the flavor. The longer they sit, the better they taste. So I have what I thought I would do is just make up the brine and then put the spices in. You can see there's a garlic clove and a pepper and some dill and pickling spice. And then as I get enough to make a jar, I will pack a jar up and load it with the cucumbers and heat the brine and process it in my water bath canner. If I don't have enough to do 2, 3, 4 jars at one time, then I will probably just use another stock pot so that I don't have the big huge canner to heat up, and it will take less time. But I do sterilize these jars before I do them because that's just the way I do it. I sterilize all my jars except anything that I pressure can, because you don't have to do that, even though the guidelines say you don't have to sterilize them if you're canning something longer than 10 minutes. I still do. I just feel better about it. It just makes me a little more comfortable, and to me that's what canning is about. If you're going to be nervous about something, then do it the way you want, and as long as it's safe, it will be fine. What I would not want to do is if it says to definitely sterilize something, if the guidelines say that, then I say, well, I don't feel like sterilizing it. I don't do that. But I don't think that it would ever hurt to sterilize your jars, even if you don't necessarily have to. So anyway, rant over. So I made up my pickles, and so far I have 3 pint jars. And I'm doing them in pint jars because my family doesn't eat a lot of dill pickles at one time. So I don't want to have a big jar in the fridge taking up space for a long period of time. So I just did them in pint jars instead of quarts. And I probably will make some bread and butter pickles later, and some more sweet pickles if I have enough cucumbers. Okay, next I have one more zucchini. This is a pretty good size one. It's bigger than the ones I normally get, but it's going to be a nice one. And just let me show you really quickly before I show you the really fun thing. Last night I took some of my tomatoes and I decided to can them. These are whole canned tomatoes. These are the Bradley tomatoes, and these are the Lemon Boy tomatoes. And I can them in 1.5 size jars. Sorry, I was interrupted. Anyway, I can these in 1.5 jars because 2 of these is the perfect size that I put in my homemade tomato sauce. So I like to do this because then it takes up less room, because they're taller and skinnier than quart jars, than pint jars, and then I just get 2 of these instead of having to open 3 jars if I got pint jars, or you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I use all different kinds of tomatoes in my cooking. These are whole tomatoes. Well, actually, I halved them as I was putting them in because they were big. But I'm going to also do some crushed tomatoes. What I did last night is, instead of having to do all of the tomatoes because they're not all ripe yet, I just cut up the ones that were ripe, peeled them and cut them up, and put them in another jar, and I've got them in the fridge. And then when I have enough, I will transfer that to my pots and crush them and get them good and hot and make crushed tomatoes and can those. So those are my tomatoes. Now the last thing I want to show you is that big, huge squash that I had in my garden. I went ahead and picked it. Now, compared to a regular size zucchini, you can see the difference. And this is a big zucchini. So, I'm not really sure what this is. It started out looking like a zucchini, but as you can see, it's big, huge, fat. Last year, we had something that came up, volunteer, and I thought it was a Hubbard squash because my neighbor gave me some Hubbard squash the year before, and I thought some seeds had gotten thrown out when from the compost. So I thought that's what it was. Well, as it grew, they got about this size, and they were dark green all over. They did not have these lighter colors on them. And then they turned orange. So I used them as Halloween decorations. But this one is taller. It's not as round as the others. So I really have no idea what this is, or even if I should have picked it yet. Maybe it would have gotten huge. I don't know. So if anybody, it looks like a little watermelon, but it's definitely not a watermelon. So if anybody has any idea what this might be, please let me know, because I have no clue, and it's driving me crazy. But it's out there with some of the plants, some of the zucchini, and like I said, I thought it was a zucchini, but the leaves do not look like watermelon leaves. Maybe it's a different variety of watermelon. I don't know. Maybe I should have let it grow. It does look like a little watermelon. So that's my harvest for the last 3 days. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Here's my harvest for Friday, July the 10th. Once more, cherry tomatoes. Aren't they beautiful? One little, I believe this is a pinto bean. Let me see if I can open it with one hand. Yeah, I can. Yes, and it is a pinto bean. So I will put that in my colander that I have back here with all of my dried beans and let it dry. And I am going to plant some more pinto beans and black beans because I pulled up all of the beets from the front beds today. These are the rest of the ones in the front. I still have probably about half this much in the back, and but they were shaded a lot by the peas, so they really haven't developed quite as much as they should have, and they're still growing. these had stopped growing, so I figured if I wanted any of the beet leaves and wanted the beets, that I'd go ahead and pull them and free up room to plant some more things like my pinto beans and probably some black beans. Those seem to be our favorites. We haven't really had beets that often to eat for dinner since we started harvesting them, because I have a lot accumulated in the fridge. I like to roast them with different vegetables and olive oil, salt and pepper. But we have had it a couple of times. But what we've been eating a lot is the beet greens, and I've been just cutting them up, washing them and treating them like lettuces and salads. And it is delicious, and I feel like we've been getting a lot of good vitamins and minerals from that. And some of the greens had started to kind of look a little bad, so that's one of the other reason I wanted to go ahead and pull them, because if I can salvage some of the greens, I would like to, because Ron and I eat a salad almost every night with dinner, and the kids eat them. Usually we try to have salad and different kinds of vegetables, so if they eat a lot of other types of vegetables, I don't always make a big deal about them eating a salad. But if we just have one vegetable, then I usually insist that they have a salad. Our rule is they have to have something green with dinner. So I don't want to buy any greens. I don't want to buy any lettuces. We still have some kale and some Swiss chard. And with my beet greens, I think we'll have enough to last the rest of the season. And even then, start planting some lettuces for the fall. And hopefully we'll be able to go all the way up through November, maybe first part of December, if we keep them covered without losing any of our lettuces. So that would be awesome. The other thing I got was a few more carrots. Look at this one. This is funny. I pulled this one up and I thought, oh wow, look how big that is. And then I turned it over and part of it is missing. Nothing's eaten on it. It just looks like it had kind of grown together with another one and maybe up against a rock or something in the soil. It's the funniest looking thing, but it just looks like the inside of a carrot. So I'm just going to cut that part off, and it's still a pretty good sized carrot. And I've been using the greens a lot as toppings in salads and different things like that. It tastes a lot like parsley. In fact, it's botanically, I believe it's a cousin to parsley. So I've been using the carrot greens a lot. Don't tell the kids. And then again, I got another baby carrot that I did not mean to get, but I was grabbing one of them and it came with it. So I went ahead and pulled it too. Then I got another Lemon Boy tomato and a couple more Bradleys, and then this one, is it this one? I believe it's this one. This one is an Ace 55, one of these two. Not really sure which one. Maybe it's this one. And they are really starting to come in too. So hopefully in the next week or so I'll be getting a lot more of those. And lastly, I got a couple more cucumbers. And this part down here is a little soft, so I'm going to cut this off. And I believe with what I've gotten over the last couple of days and this one, that or these two, that I have enough to make another pint jar of pickles. And I will try sometime before the end of the season to actually show you how I did the pickles. They're really, really delicious. Okay, so that's my harvest for Friday. See you tomorrow. Hey guys, today is Saturday, July 11th, and this is my harvest for today. I've got everything piled onto my cutting board here because I just didn't feel like getting out a big towel and laying everything down, so kind of lazy. But here goes. I have my Lemon Boy tomatoes and some Bradley tomatoes, along with a pile of cherry tomatoes, and they are sticking on the board, blocked in by a cucumber. And here are some more of my cucumbers. This one is a little funky. He's a little man. Hello. He looks like a little duck. Quack. Sorry, I got a little silly there. This is, of course, a pickling cucumber, and this is the straight 8. This one is actually a straight 8 also, but I'm going to use it to pickle, as a pickle. A lot of my pickling cucumbers have kind of, they're kind of looking a little peaked, looking like they're already pickled. So I'm going to start harvesting some of the straight 8s when they're small to use as pickling cucumbers, because I do have a lot of those and will never eat all of these cucumbers if I let them get big. This one is not full size, but I like the smaller ones. They tend to be a little more sweet and not as bitter, so we tend to like those. I got the last of my beets from the back of the house, so I'm done with the beets until fall. So I'm going to clean these up and figure out a couple of good ways to use them, and then I've got some nice greens here for salads. I got a couple of beans. This one had a little insect hole in it, so I'm not sure what I'm going to find when I get in there. And I'm not sure what kind of bean this is. Oh, it's a Great Northern bean. So I will add this to my pile. This one looks like it's bad. Yeah, that doesn't look very good. Yep, that looks not good. In fact, there might be a little critter in there, but I got a couple of good beans out of it. We're going to have fish tacos tomorrow night. Well, actually, I'm going to have fish tacos. I'm not sure if anyone else is going to have them, because I think I'm the only one in the house who likes them. But I picked some kale to use as like a slaw on my fish tacos. I really like that. And I usually use like a red cabbage or something like that, and I thought that the kale would be a wonderful substitute. And I'll probably make a little sauce with mayonnaise and some dill and lemon juice. And then to end this harvest video, I have the most adorable little eggplants, mini baby eggplants. I just don't think I ever thought that a vegetable could be adorable, but this is like the cutest thing in the world next to my little bit over there. And Teddy's pretty cute too, but Little Bit's adorable. Anyway, this is Saturday's harvest, and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, today is Sunday, July 12th, and this is what I got from the garden today. I got some more of my delicious carrots, and I think actually I have been enjoying the greens more than the actual carrots. Because I've been using the greens as the same way I would parsley. So it's really been a nice addition to my cooking. And I may end up drying some, putting them on the dehydrator so that I can have them year-round, because the carrots are really starting to come in a lot better now, and I think I have 6 squares of them, maybe maybe 8 squares. I'm not sure exactly how many squares of carrots that I have, but it's a lot of carrots. And I did 16 carrots in each square, so I'm gonna have a lot of greens. I got some more kale, simply because, well, I like kale, and we still have some in the fridge, but it's coming to the end, and I let these just go as long as I felt like I could, and I picked some of the others that were starting to kind of look a little weird. I may not use this one. It looks like it's got some insect damage. Well, I don't know. It may be okay. It looks like it's got a little bit of insect damage, like right in there. You see those insect holes, but I don't know. I'll inspect each one. And this one just kind of has wilted since I brought it in. Of course, it's been a while since I've picked these and washed them. I got some more cherry tomatoes, as usual. And it's a good thing because one of my kids loves them, as I've said before. And 2 of the other kids in the neighborhood came over this afternoon. And they probably ate about a pint apiece. So it's a good thing I'm getting a bunch of cherry tomatoes every day. I got some of these cucumbers from there. These are the pickling ones here, and this is a straight 8 that you remember yesterday I said I was going to start picking these smaller so that I could pickle them, and more on that later, but I will I'm having to regroup a little bit, but it's always a good thing. I'm not ever upset to regroup in this way when someone blesses me with something. I got 2 little green beans. I'll add them to my collection until the rest of them start coming in. But I'll just probably stick these on a salad or something. And then my neighbor gave me 2 more of these monster yellow squashes, some sort of yellow squash. I'm not quite sure what it is, but they are really, really good. They're bigger than what I usually get for zucchini, and the seeds are a little bit bigger. And so I will take them, and I usually quarter them and then cut the seeds out diagonally, and then either chop them if I'm going to saute them, or what we've been doing a lot lately is cutting them into 8s and like spears, and putting them on the grill with some salt, pepper, and olive oil, or Creole seasoning, or seasoned salt, or something like that, and it's really been great. When we had our fish tacos tonight, I asked my husband to go out to the garden and bring in some dill weed for me. And he said, dill weed? Like, what? And I said, not the seeds, not the dill head, but the weed. He said, oh, okay, gotcha. And then he came in a few minutes later with these. I said, no, that's not what I wanted. I want this, the dill weed. This. So he went back out and got some more. He knows better. He's silly. He knows what dill weed is. I think he was playing a joke on me. But anyway, we have tons of this, so it really didn't matter. You can see that the seeds are not fully mature, and that's okay. I'm still going to use this in my pickles, and then I'll add some dill seed that we have left over from last year, because at the end of the season he'll go around and cut all of these fronds, and we'll save the seeds. We have way more dill seeds than we will ever use in our lifetime, but we still do it. And then we've planted dill once since we've lived here in the last 12 years, because it falls on the ground and reseeds itself, and all of it comes up volunteer. So I have these huge Ziploc bags full of dill seeds. I should probably stop saving them, but I just can't bring myself to throw anything out. But they're not that big. I don't really have, they're not like stuffed full, but anyway, I'm telling tales on myself. The funniest thing is I was complaining to my neighbor about my cucumbers, that the pickling cucumbers are not coming in like I'd hoped, and that these straight eights are coming in, but we have a few that we're going to be eating, but I'm starting to get the smaller ones so that I can pickle them. And I said, I'm afraid we're not going to have very many of the bigger ones to actually eat in salads. And one of our favorite things is just to put cold salt water on the table with sliced cucumbers, peeled sliced cucumbers, and have that as a snack with a meal. Eat them as you're walking by the table, just grab a few. It's delicious. So she said, I'll be right back. And when she came, she brought me these two squashes, but then she also brought me this huge bowl of cucumbers. She said they let them get way too big, but I think I can probably pickle some. Like this one I can use to make pickles. Some of these are like so ginormous, I'm not sure. I mean, look at this thing. It's bigger than my hand. Look at this one. It's huge. Huge. I'm not sure what kind of pickle this will make, but she said she's been pickling them, and some of these bigger ones they've been eating like as salad cucumbers, and she said that they're really sweet, which surprised her because pickling cucumbers sometimes are not sweet, but she said that they really are, and her kids have been eating them. And so I'm not one to refuse anything that someone wants to give me, so I will make a use for these no matter what, even if it's trying out a new recipe with grated cucumber, or making some tzatziki or something. If this one doesn't taste great sliced, then I'll grate it and mix it in some yogurt and make some tzatziki, or make a salad dressing. That would be good. Or I saw a recipe on Pinterest for cucumber hummus. I haven't tried that yet, but this might be a candidate for that. And I love hummus. So I've got a lot of work to do with my pickles, and I got some more blackberries this week, I said earlier, and I've started to cook some of those down to make jelly, and I made blackberry ice cream this week. I will do a video on that because it was delicious. It was so good. I used the recipe from the Pioneer Woman on her website, so you can go on there and look. And when I do the video, I will link that, or I'll try to remember to link that. But I do have a lot of work to do with all of the things that we've been getting in from the garden. And I'm really excited, especially about this huge mountain of cucumbers. They are going to be delicious no matter what I figure out to do with them. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope you have a great week. Fly high, Pooh Bear.